So let's go to the complete and narrated chapter of One Piece, chapter 1171. Ready? Then come aboard with me after the intro. Hello everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to the channel. Today we bring you the full narrated chapter of One Piece, chapter 1171. It took a little while to arrive, but it's finally here. And before we dive into today's content, I ask you, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell. That helps the channel grow a lot and reach many more people. Give me that support, and without further delay, let's jump straight into the content of this video. Starting with page 1, the cover page. Remembering that the title of this chapter is Ragnarok, which is Loki's hammer. The reader's request on the cover is a cat putting a cat ear headband on Zoro's head. There's an interesting detail here. The character Tan, which usually appears as part of words meaning something like simple or alone, is written on Zoro's shirt. Just a small detail worth pointing out. Could this be some kind of foreshadowing by Oda? Let me know in the comments what you think. Now let's move on to the chapter itself. On page 2, the chapter begins by showing a Lust Castle in the distance. We see Scopper Gaban, pronounced Gaban, who says the following. Open quote, I thought Harold might leave the castle and end up destroying the entire world. I could imagine a world plunged into absolute despair. That body, regenerating infinitely no matter how much damage it received. I never thought there was a way to stop it. To think that the sacred treasure of Elbaf holds such power, Jarul. Close quote. As Gaban speaks, we see the full extent of the disaster that struck the castle, with many bodies scattered across the ground. Pages 3 through 5. We see Jarul, Shanks, and Gaban along with several giants who survived the catastrophe. Jarul then says, open quote, no, I have never even heard of something like this. Just thinking about what could have happened if Loki had not been here today, it sends chills down my spine. Merely imagining what would have happened without Loki gives me unbearable shivers. Close quote. Shanks then remembers Harold's words from their past conversation. Open quote. The dawn of Elbaf will arrive when I join the ranks of the Holy Knights. Close quote. This conversation took place when the two met far away from Mary Geoise, at the moment when Shanks revealed his identity as a pirate. Now Shanks is gripping the mark of the pact with Emu, pronounced Emu, on his left arm tightly, his face twisted in pain. At the same time, he recalls the words of his father, Garling. Open quote, if there is anything you desire, my son, simply say the word. My poor child, you must have lived a restricted life until now. Common people are not even human. Forget everything about that inferior world. Close quote. Consumed by rage toward Emu and the Tenryubito, Shanks clenches the mark even harder. Gaban then embraces him and says, open quote, Shanks, hey, Shanks, stop that. That's a bad habit, you know? Cursing your own birth. Close quote. Shanks, furious with himself, shouts, open quote, why did Harold have to die? Someone with a heart as pure as his. If only I had acted faster. Close quote. Gaban responds, open quote, you can't blame yourself for this, Shanks. You definitely have a purpose. Every life surely has meaning, so pull yourself together. Close quote. We then see Loki and his father. Loki is staring at his father's body lying on the ground. The upper half of Harold's body has completely vanished due to the blow delivered by Loki. Loki says, open quote, so this is the result of loving your nation to the very end? This is far too cruel. Close quote. A touching detail here, Loki covers Harold's torso with his cloak. It's an extremely emotional and tragic scene. Pages 6 and 7. The scene shifts to Pangaea Castle. We see a conversation between Emu and the Gorosei. Emu is seated upon the empty throne and says, open quote, granted to a warrior of the ancient giant race, a rarity in this world, I bestowed upon him even greater power and an immortal body. At that point, he had become nothing more than a monster, and even he was killed? By whom? What could possibly exist in Elbaf? Close quote. Marcus Mars responds, open quote, allow us to send someone to investigate this, Emu. The abyss that Harold left behind should still be in Elbaf. Close quote. Emu interrupts. Open quote, enough, that will only lead to the deaths of more holy knights. Even for Mu, these pacts come at a price. Close quote. Lowering himself to the point of humiliation before the human race, Emu continues, breathing heavily. Open quote. Harald, who spoke of forming bonds with other nations and races, was already considered a heretic. They are, by nature, a clan of warriors, bellicose to the very last drop of their blood. If we recklessly bring them into the world government, we will collapse from within. A king of Elbaf from the ancient giant race who agreed to the pact, a man far too convenient for us. He was a king who should not have existed, not even for Elbaf. History does not lie. We simply cannot coexist. Close quote. Emu then declares, open quote, never forget, Elbaf is D. Close quote, pages 8, 9, and 10. We return to Elust Castle. Loki and Jarul are talking. Jarul warns him, open quote, Loki, from this point forward, the entire country will fall into absolute turmoil, close quote. Loki replies, open quote, I'm going to see Grandpa. I'll take all the surviving soldiers with me, close quote. Jarul asks, open quote, and what about your father Harald's wish? Close quote. We see a brief flashback of Harald's request to his son, open quote, tell the people of Elbaf exactly what happened in this castle. Exactly how it happened, Loki. Close quote. Loki makes his decision. Open quote. There's no way we can tell them that. Listen carefully, all of you. Everything that happened here today, do not tell a single soul. Close quote. At this moment, we see that Gaban and Shanks are also listening, meaning Shanks knew about Loki's decision. Jarl says, open quote, you realize you will be suspected of a crime because of this, don't you, Loki? Close quote. Loki responds, open quote, that's nothing new to me. Can you truly see a future where I become king and carry on my father's ideals? But if it's for a different purpose, then I can achieve it. With this power, I will put an end to the regrets of my late father and the soldiers. Close quote. Loki begins leaving the castle with the surviving soldiers. Jarl shouts, open quote, don't you dare do anything stupid, Loki. The world government is a massive organization. It won't be as easy as you think to go against them. Close quote. Shanks and Gaban simply watch, clearly suspicious of what Loki intends to do. The flashback ends with the voices of soldiers shouting about the incident to the people of Elbaf. Page 11. Finally, after 16 chapters, we return to the present day. Loki says, open quote, and so I went to see. Hajrudin, by the time all of you returned to the island, the story of my patricide, of killing my own father, was already firmly established. I had committed enough barbaric acts for people to naturally believe that of me, but I am not so sick as to celebrate my father's death. I couldn't accept an ending like that. I didn't want everything the old man stood for to be completely denied. Even so, should I really have told the entire country the truth? Close quote. Gaban then says, open quote, everything he says is true, Hajrudin. Close quote. Loki adds, open quote, do you understand now? I never even wanted to remember something like that day. Final note, everyone is paying close attention, including Luffy, who, for once, did not fall asleep during a flashback. Pages 12 through 17, Loki's epic battle. The Draugr emerges. While everyone is talking, something completely unexpected happens. A Draugr, one of the creatures manifested by killing him, suddenly falls into the underworld. The tension skyrockets instantly. Everyone present knows how dangerous these creatures are. Loki takes the initiative. Loki immediately asks Hajrudin and the others to go up first, since he is able to fly on his own. And then, in yet another spectacular double-page spread, Loki removes his chains and leaps straight toward the Draugr. Oda's artwork at this moment is simply insane. Gaban needs help. Gaban asks Chopper for help to get up as well, clearly worried about what is about to happen. After all, he has just finished telling that extremely emotional story, and his health is far from ideal. Sanji carries Gaban in his arms using Skywalk, while Chopper, riding on Sanji's back, asks him to stay as steady as possible so Gaban's condition does not worsen. What a scene. Sanji using Skywalk while carrying both Gaban and Chopper at the same time. Luffy never misses the action. Loki flies forward to attack the Draugr using Ragnir, and guess who is standing on top of it? Luffy. Our protagonist is watching everything up close as always. Loki, clearly surprised, asks what the hell Luffy is doing up there. Luffy, with that unmistakable grin, says he is way too excited to see Loki fight. Loki unleashes his power. Loki prepares himself and declares that it is time to show what Ragnir can really do. The final double page. Absolutely epic. And here comes the moment everyone was waiting for. In the absolutely epic final double-page spread, Loki strikes the Draugr with Ragnir. releasing a devastating ice power that completely freezes the enemy solid. Luffy is left completely speechless by Loki's power. Loki shouts the name of the attack, Niflheim. The kanji mean world of origin. Luffy reacts in total shock, screaming in disbelief. This power is absolutely absurd. Loki freezes that gigantic creature instantly. End of the chapter. And yes, everyone, there will be a break next week. I know it hurts, but stay strong. Important notice, remember this video is based on an initial spoiler translation. I always recommend reading the official chapter for the best and most complete understanding of the story. The official chapter will be released next Sunday. Quick analysis. Before wrapping things up, let's quickly talk about what we just saw. Loki's power Niflheim is clearly a reference to Norse mythology, the primordial world of ice and mist, and the power Loki displayed here is completely insane. Freezing such a massive creature instantly places Loki at an extremely high power level. Luffy's reaction. Just look at Luffy's face. He is genuinely impressed. That is rare. Usually Luffy is more like cool, now let me try too. But this time he is truly shocked by the sheer scale of Loki's power. Ragnir, the legendary weapon. It is now very clear that Ragnir is not just a weapon. It amplifies and channels Loki's power in a unique and terrifying way. The mystery continues. And we still have so many unanswered questions. What exactly is Loki's devil fruit? How did he obtain such devastating ice powers? And what does he plan to do against the world government? We will have to wait and see. Closing. So everyone, what did you think of this historic chapter? Leave your thoughts in the comments. What did you think of Loki's power? Do you think he is stronger than we originally imagined? What do you think his next move will be? If you enjoyed the video, leave that like, subscribe to the channel, activate the notification bell so you don't miss anything. Thank you so much for watching until the end. See you next time, and may the will of D be with you.